What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Walt with Flower City Cards, and it's been a while. It's been, I think, 9 or 10 days since I posted a video, and um, I'm really trying to be good about posting every 7 days. But um, yeah, I shot a video a couple days ago around the 6 or 7 day mark, and I didn't really love it. It was pertaining to Perfect Order and kind of that set and the opportunities surrounding that set that are going to present themselves, but I thought uh, I thought today I would um, just talk about in general just the opportunities that are everywhere, and I guess what prompted this topic in this video is I was we're currently looking for homes, and it's definitely a little bit it's a little it's a little difficult right now just in general. Market's pretty hot where we live, and uh, finding one has been a little bit of a challenge. But we've been, I was talking to my brother and my father after the fact, and we were talking about just the business in general. And I think what was interesting is, like, as we were talking, I there were so many like things that I wanted to say to kind of help describe um, what's happening in the space, why it's happening, why I think it's going to continue, why I believe in it long term, and on fast forward to today, and actually I just finished watching it. Dan with Catch 'em All Collectibles put together a video, and he's doing a little, basically like a little series on basically how to make money. Right, follow these steps. You know, line by line, hand holding you. If you follow these steps, he basically, he's like, guaranteeing you're going to make six figures in the hobby every year. You're going to net that much. And, it, I guess kind of watching that video, it really, and looking at, we have a new set coming out this week. This is Perfect Order release week. We truly do have opportunities everywhere. And you know, there's a lot of people who choose to focus on the negatives, focus on the things that truly, I mean, they just can't control, right? The variables that are out of their control, that, you know, you're a, you are a at the mercy of the market. And when we say the market, the market is the mother down the street that goes to Target that buys cards for her three or four sons. The market is the scalper that buys, as much of whatever product it is on new releases. The market consists of your distributors, your local game stores, your LGSs, your local card shops. It consists of the vendors that buy from Pokemon Center and on the secondary market and source from TCG Player, and then you have the the people who are kind of a part of the hobby that kind of just do a little bit of everything. They collect, they invest, they participate, right? They go to shows. The market is a culmination of everything, right? And you can choose to be upset over the situation that you're in, which is, you're in a market where, you know what, sure, it's going to take you a little bit more work than it did 2 or 3 years ago to get access to product. The problem 2 or 3 years ago was not that you couldn't get product. The problem was, once you got it, demand was low, volume was low. It wasn't as hot as it is today. Today, we're booming more than we've ever seen, right? And as somebody that, and I'm not somebody who's been here forever. I've been here since 2019, got back into it in 2019. You know, went through COVID times, and the overall sentiment that was agreed upon kind of across the board, didn't matter who it was, right, that you talked to. Mostly everybody agreed that, like, the COVID boom that we had was probably never going to happen again. It was never going to happen again. There's no way. Logan Paul, perfect storm, stimulus checks, you name it. Everyone's inside. They're looking, they're cleaning out closets, right? That was never going to be replicated again. And that still to this day might be true. But we had obviously a second boom. And with that boom and with that ability to make money, draws new people, new eyes, new faces, like opportunists who just want to be here because it's easy to make money if you buy product X and flip it a week later, 2 weeks later. Um, so, you know, I was watching Dan's video and he's very thorough, and I posted that video in our Discord, and I was like, this video should be like a requirement for anybody who wants to get into this hobby, just to watch it, right? To get a perspective from somebody who's been here forever, doing probably 8 figures in gross revenue every year. That's somebody you want to at least watch, digest. You still need to make your own decisions. You still need to make your own choices as to what makes sense for you. But that's a video that like everybody should be watching that video, and everybody should be taking something away from it. Even if you only take one thing away from it, it's valuable to take the full 57, 58 minutes, however long it was, and just watch it all the way through. And I'll link it below. But I highly encourage you guys to go ahead and do that. That is the type of content, and it doesn't just have to come from him. The non-attractive, down in the weeds, looking at the numbers type content is how you grow. It's how you get better, and it forces you to really like stay focused on what you're doing, right? And it might give you a new perspective. And again, I'm going to bring this back to the original, right? The whole point, the whole message of this video is just there's opportunities everywhere, guys. And go watch that video. Like whether it's grading, buying collections, flipping them, like sourcing, right? If you can figure out ways to source, right? And we do it like Flower City Cards, right? We have a Discord. We recently paywalled it because, number one, we had some issues with a couple members in terms of their ability to properly manage pre-orders. But then also like we're a tight knit community. It's used all the time, and we're primarily businesses, right? Like we're B2B in that group. Like we are through and through B2B, and you want to be surrounded by people, like-minded people who have similar goals and have similar objectives. And in that group, like part of the value of being in that group is like the ability to connect with other businesses that have access to product, right? And maybe it's not the product that you necessarily need, but maybe you have a customer and somebody else has an excess supply of said product of a certain set and they need it. And it's like the way you can add value, the opportunities to do that are everywhere. And if you're not looking and you're not staying creative and you're not shifting your perspective and your mindset, you're going to miss them. You're going to miss the opportunities. And, I'm looking at that video today. I'm watching it, and, it kind of, that kind of all ties back to like the conversation with my father and my brother, right? It's like, okay, how do I get them involved? Well, it's not really that simple, but the amount of things that are possible with added time, right, on your side, added bodies, like whether that's like PSA grading, buying more collections, just burning and churning through product and going and vending and things like that. Like those are all possibilities. And that's kind of some of the stuff I was trying to explain to them. And, the other caveat to this is, yes, there's opportunities everywhere, but you need to take the time to understand what the hell it is you're doing. You cannot just come in and start throwing money around just because everything's going up. It's not how this works. Go and watch Dan's video. First month, he's basically saying square zero, right? Whatever it is, step zero. Just start digesting content, learning, right? Look around. Like I remember when I first got back into this in 2019, I didn't I didn't know half the sets that exist today. I didn't know half of them. Like all the EX era stuff. Like I when we were young, got in during OG base set, Fossil, Jungle, Legendary Collection, and then we got out around like the e-reader time, right? When like Expedition, Aquapolis, like those sets were out. That was the extent of it, and then I was gone. It was like 2003, 2004. I was out around 10, 11 years old. It wasn't cool anymore. I didn't stick with it. We had other things going on. We had a lot of sports and stuff, but got back in 2019. Right, that's 16 years of missed sets. Like I remember getting back in, and I was just like, these sets are so cool. Like I was having a ball with all the EX reverses. Like I was really really excited about those. Those were really cool. The e-readers, like getting back into those, revisiting the vintage stuff, the WotC stuff, like that was all really cool to me. But it took time. Like I spent a lot of time just like looking, like just understanding what was out there. Like what are the sets? Like what's selling? What's not selling? Why would I pick up this card over another card? If I pick up a collection, what am I really looking for, right? Like how do I like there's so many like nuances and like niches of sets of cards of like collectors. There's error collectors and like there I could go on and on about this stuff, but if you don't take the time in that video, right, Dan's step 0 to learn, which is probably the hardest part because and I guess I take that back, right? It's only going to be hard for people if you're not truly passionate about being here, right? Like about the IP, about the lore, the hobby, the history, like what's going on here, like like Pokemon in general. Like if you don't really appreciate it, if you don't like it, if you don't have an interest in it, you're not going to be here long term. I just don't see it, right? Because when the times get tough, why are you going to stick around? Like you don't like you gotta really appreciate what's here and the opportunities, and you gotta be able to look at these cards and say like, yeah, I wanna, like, this is cool. Like I like collecting, like, just like this is a giant stack I was going through of promos. Like I'm a big promo collector. Don't care if they're cheap. I like the Cosmos holofoils, like, because that brings me back to like back when I was collecting, and then when I got back into it in Sword and Shield, they didn't have that kind of holofoil. Like on some of the promos they did, but that was the kind of stuff that like just visually I like. Like I like being able to pick up a 25-cent Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle from the 151 poster collections in bulk, like 2, 300, 400 copies, because to me, like that's the kind of stuff like that I enjoy, and that as an investment, it's like it's a very very small entry or barrier to entry, and like I don't know, there's so many opportunities out there, guys, and like if you know if you spend the time, you're going to be successful, as long as you're passionate and you're here for the right reasons, right? And I think you also have to be honest with yourself, right? Like I'm here to make money too, right? But I'm also here because I really enjoy this, and there's a lot of other hobbies I could be doing too, whether that's like coaching sports, right? Like coaching baseball. Like I played a high level of baseball, and like I got into real estate. Like ended up being a landlord for like around 7 years, and you know ended up selling that house because like of everything that's going on here, and then also the other fact of that is we're trying to buy a house, but you know you guys have to decide, right? Like where do you want to spend your time? And to Dan's point, right, like I'm tying all this back to the video because this is kind of like in a way piggybacking off of that, but you guys got to figure out, like he kept saying, like you got to figure out who you are, what your objectives are, what your goals are, right? Set smart objectives, smart goals, and track your progress. Like, and I'm not sitting here as somebody who's saying like, oh, like you guys need to be better, you guys need to do this. I know you're not doing it. Like I'm not the best at that either. Like I could improve significantly in a lot of the things he was saying, but I'm passionate about this and I put in the time, and I think that's the reason why I'm where I am today. Also coupled with the fact that we're extremely lucky to be where we are and to have the opportunity to do what we're doing in this frame, this moment in time, like this is insane. And just being back, like I wasn't here during the other tough times either, right? Uh like before Pokemon Go, like I wasn't here for that. I wasn't here before that other boom that they also at that time didn't think was going to be replicated, and then we had Logan Paul in 2021. So it's just, guys, it's, choose, you gotta pick and choose what you want to focus on. If you choose to focus on the difficulties, which is prices are going up, it's hard to find, versus grinding, figuring out ways to acquire products, building relationships, joining discords, joining Facebook marketplace groups, right? Like doing, I mean, going to your local game stores and like having a conversation and feeling things out, kind of like what Dan was saying in the video, like if you guys watched it. But it's just, the opportunities are everywhere. And if you don't really enjoy this hobby, like you can find opportunities doing other things, right? I know one of the things, like when my wife and I get a home, I know one of the things that we can also do together outside of this hobby is like we would love to start like buying and flipping furniture. Like I think that would be really cool. Like I'm a mechanical engineer, love working with my hands. I got an artistic side to me. She does too. She's in marketing. Like she's got a creative side too. So like you can do so many things. It doesn't have to be Pokemon, but to sit in this hobby and just bitch and moan about what's going on instead of going out and maybe like this isn't for you, going out and finding something else that's actually going to make you happy. Like, why are you here if you're just going to be negative? Like, go focus on something that's going to make you happy, that's going to add value to your life, that's going to bring you joy. Like, it's not hard, guys. Like, you're only here for so long. Don't take it so seriously. Like, go build something. Go be creative. Go use your brain, right? Go think. Go like treat it like a little game. Like, life is a game, and you know you're only young for so long, and then life starts to catch up, and things start to happen, and you have to your priorities shift, and there's just a lot of other things that happen. You only get freedom and like the chance to really do what you want to do, depending on what you want to do, kids, all that stuff. But those are things that you guys kind of have to deal with and figure out for yourselves. But all right, so I've been rambling for 15 to 20 minutes now. I'm going to wrap it up. But guys, again, I appreciate you hearing me out, listening to me ramble from time to time. I'm going to try to get my next video in quite a bit sooner. I'm going to make sure it's not 9 days later. But that's all I got, guys. But keep a lookout, keep grinding. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities with Perfect Order. If you guys are interested in joining the Discord, we do have a B2B network now. It is set up, ready to go. Get you connected with hundreds of businesses who are active in there, who are always kind of watching, even if they're not, and give you some opportunities to connect with people who are just grinding. They're grinders, and they're figuring out what works and what doesn't, and we have a really good community built in there. So all that being said, appreciate you guys for sticking around and hearing me out, and I'll see you guys next time.